They trusted their allies and paid the ultimate price. But when they returned, they weren't just back, they were gods. Today we'll uncover 20 mind-blowing anime where betrayal sparks revenge, and the MC levels up so hard even fate can't stop them. Wait till you hear who comes back with a demon army. Which betrayal hit you hardest in anime history? Drop it in the comments. And no cheating with Itachi. Let's see who really remembers the coldest stabs in the back. Number 1. Arifureta. From commonplace to world's strongest. What happens when your classmates push you into the abyss? You stop being human. Hajime was the weak link of his class, until betrayal dropped him into the deepest dungeon, left for dead. But in that darkness, he became something unrecognizable. Part beast, part gunsmith, all revenge. No one saves you. You evolve or die. From prey to predator. He didn't just level up, he rewrote the laws of power in his world. When the world breaks you, break its rules right back. Number 2. Rising of the Shield Hero. False accusations are worse than monsters because they turn people into enemies. Naofumi was summoned as a hero, then falsely branded a predator and cast out. His name, reputation, and trust all gone overnight. But instead of crumbling, he built his strength alone, forged alliances from the bottom up, and became the one hero the world couldn't ignore. He lost his honor, but gained purpose. The shield became more than defense, it became defiance. Reputation can be stolen, but character is built under fire. Number 3. 91 Days. What if your entire life became a checklist for revenge? Avilio watched his family slaughtered by the mafia he once trusted. Years later, under a new name, he returns. Not as a victim, but as a ghost, woven into their ranks. His calm, calculating revenge is colder than any bullet. He didn't just kill them, he made them trust him first. This is betrayal weaponized into strategy, grief distilled into precision. The sharpest vengeance is served without rage, only focus. Number 4. ReZero, starting life in another world. Imagine dying over and over, each time by someone you trusted. Subaru's ability to return from death seems like a gift until betrayal resets his hope again and again. He learns to predict pain, adapt to suffering, and face allies who turn into monsters. Death becomes his training arc. Each betrayal scars him, but every scar makes him smarter, colder, stronger. Failure isn't final unless you stop learning from it. Number 5. Code Geass. What happens when the world betrays a genius with nothing left to lose? Lelouch v Britannia was cast aside by royalty, left powerless in a corrupt empire. But with one supernatural command, Geass, he flips the board. Every betrayal he endured becomes ammunition for his master plan to dismantle empires and rebuild the world. He didn't want the throne, he wanted the checkmate. Lelouch becomes both savior and villain, a martyr of his own revolution. If you're going to change the world, be ready to burn for it. Number 6. Betrayal knows my name. Uragiri wa boku no namae wo shiteru. What if betrayal followed you across lifetimes? Yuki's powers awaken alongside haunting memories of friends turned foes and love laced with deception. He's cursed to relive emotional betrayal that stretches across reincarnations. But instead of vengeance, he chooses forgiveness, a power more terrifying than wrath. He could destroy, but chooses to heal. In a world built on betrayal, Yuki becomes the anchor others cling to. Strength isn't always how hard you hit, sometimes it's how deep you heal. Number 7. Akame ga Kill. How do you fight evil when betrayal is the system itself? Tatsumi joins the capital to be a hero, only to watch his friends murdered and realize the empire he trusted is a meat grinder. Each betrayal hardens him. Every ally lost becomes fuel for rebellion. He traded his innocence for a blade and a cause. Surrounded by blood and lies, he learns that justice is forged in sacrifice. When truth is buried, dig it out, even if it cuts deep. Number 8. Berserk. What if your best friend's dream required sacrificing your soul? Guts trusted Griffith like a brother, until Griffith offered him to demons to achieve godhood. Surviving the eclipse, Guts becomes a force of vengeance, wielding a sword too big for most humans, fitting for a rage too vast for words. Betrayal didn't break him, it unleashed him. Each battle becomes therapy. Each demon slain is a piece of his pain. Some scars never fade, but they can become your armor. Number 9. Alderamin on the Sky. What happens when betrayal doesn't kill you, but kills your belief in honor? Ikta Salork is a lazy genius who only wanted peace. But when war claims his best friend and reveals the corruption in his kingdom, he weaponizes strategy like a scalpel. He doesn't fight with fists. He dismantles armies with logic. They expected a soldier. They got a surgeon of war. Betrayal didn't make him violent. It made him precise. When emotions cloud everything, clarity becomes the most dangerous weapon. Number 10. Seraph of the End. What if your family was murdered, only for the real betrayal to come later? Yuichiro loses everyone to vampires, then discovers humans are just as twisted. Surrounded by lies, experiments, and corruption, he clings to loyalty like a weapon. He doesn't just fight to win, he fights to protect the few people he has left. Betrayal made him savage, but loyalty keeps him human. His power grows with his pain, but never without purpose. When trust is rare, protect it like your life depends on it. If you're hooked on MC glow-ups after betrayal, hit that like button, because the next 10 get even darker, edgier, and wilder. And if we missed your favorite, shout it out. We might feature it next. Number 11. Dead Man Wonderland. What if your sentence wasn't just prison, but turning your body into a weapon? Ganta is framed for slaughtering his entire class. In prison, betrayal hits from every side. Guards, allies, even the system itself. His blood becomes ammunition in a literal fight for survival. They wanted him broken. He became brutal. Each betrayal teaches him not just how to fight, but why he must. When the world corners you, let your pain sharpen your aim. Number 12. Dororo. How do you forgive a father who sold your body to demons? Yakimaru was born without limbs, voice, or senses, betrayed at birth for political power. Piece by piece, he reclaims his body through bloody battles and confronts the man who traded his existence for land. He wasn't born whole, he became whole through fury. But even with vengeance in reach, he chooses empathy over annihilation. Power means nothing if you lose your humanity chasing it. Number 13. Tokyo Revengers. What if the past betrays you again and again? Takemichi travels back in time to save the girl he loves, only to find every attempt reshapes betrayal into new, brutal ways. Friends become enemies. Victories collapse into tragedies. But each loss teaches him how to lead, not just react. Time doesn't heal, it tests. He stops running and starts building a future that won't betray him. If the timeline won't change for you, become the one who changes it. Number 14. Castlevania, Netflix. What happens when the church turns you into a monster for loving a human? Dracula's wife is executed by religious zealots, despite her kindness and healing. In grief and rage, he declares war on all humanity. But it's his son, Alucard, torn between loyalty and morality, who shows that love can survive even apocalyptic betrayal. The real battle wasn't humans versus vampires, it was grief versus grace. Alucard fights not for revenge, but for redemption. Vengeance is loud, but redemption speaks in silence. Number 15. Vinland Saga. What if your father's death turned you into a weapon and then a slave? Thorfinn watches his noble father fall to betrayal, then joins his killer to chase vengeance. But after years of rage and war, he's left hollow. It's not power that transforms him, it's realizing how empty revenge truly is. He was forged in war, but found meaning in peace. Thorfinn rises again, not as a warrior, but as a builder of futures. Sometimes the greatest comeback is walking away from the blade. Number 16. Plunderer. What if even your allies hide darker truths than your enemies? Lichtbach hides behind flirtation and weakness, but his past is soaked in betrayal and blood. Once a feared killer, he now protects others while battling the ghosts of those he couldn't save. The betrayals he endured, some self-inflicted, drive him to rewrite fate. He's not escaping the past, he's dragging it into the light. Each fight is less about winning and more about redemption. You can't change your past, but you can choose your legacy. Number 17. Mobile Suit Gundam, Iron-Blooded Orphans. What if the world saw you as disposable, and you proved them all wrong? Mikazuki and his orphan crew are treated as tools of war, betrayed by the adults who profit from their suffering. They take control of their fate, fighting not for glory, but survival and dignity. They weren't born heroes, they were forced to become legends. Even as the world turns against them, they build a name with blood and grit. You don't need a perfect start to carve out a lasting legacy. Number 18. Claymore. What if betrayal was baked into your DNA? Claire is a half-human, half-monster warrior in an order that discards its own. Betrayed by the very group she serves, she fights on not for their approval, but for a promise, and for those like her. She's not a savior, she's a survivor with a sword. Claire redefines strength, not as power over others, but power over fate. When no one claims you, define yourself. Number 19. Overlord. What if betrayal meant losing your entire world, but gaining ultimate power? Momonga is trapped in a game as his virtual world becomes reality, left alone as all others vanish. Betrayed by fate and isolation, he rises as the overlord of a dark empire, wielding power few can match. His loneliness fuels a godlike reign, unmatched and unstoppable. Overlord teaches us that when everything is lost, control becomes the ultimate comeback. When abandoned, build your kingdom from the ashes. Number 20. Kingdom. What if betrayal came not from enemies, but from those closest to you? Shin rises from a lowly servant to a legendary general, constantly betrayed by corrupt nobles and scheming allies. Each deception sharpens his resolve to unify a fractured land through sheer will and battle prowess. Betrayal forged a leader, not a victim. Kingdom shows us that trust may break, but determination builds empires. When the throne is unstable, become the foundation. After every betrayal, these heroes rise, stronger, sharper, and unstoppable. Their stories aren't just about pain, they're about transformation. From shattered trust to hardened resolve, they teach us that the greatest power isn't just coming back, it's coming back changed. Which comeback story moved you the most? Drop your thoughts and favorite betrayals below. And if you want more deep dives into anime's most intense moments, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned, because the next story is even more shocking than the last. Remember, true strength is forged in fire, and sometimes betrayal is the spark.